Right now, as we speak, a record-breaking $7 billion is being quietly extracted. You know, if you look at the promotional materials for the 2026 World Cup, you're sold this beautiful vision, right? A massive global celebration, a historic economic boom for North America. But when you peek behind the flashing lights and the roaring crowds, the actual financial data reveals an alarming, completely different reality. In this explainer, we're going to dissect the raw financial mechanics behind this massive global event, and what we uncover is a staggering, frankly dark contrast between the governing body's record-breaking revenue and the crushing debt systematically placed squarely onto the shoulders of local taxpayers. Okay, let's dive right into this. $7 billion. That is the official revenue target for the 2026 World Cup. Now, when local politicians announce they're bringing the tournament to your city, this figure gets waved around like it's a shared pie, like everybody gets a slice. But the documents show us that it's absolutely not. This massive number? It represents a direct wealth transfer masquerading as an economic boom. The host nations do not get a cut of this core profit. Instead, this multi-billion-dollar pile of cash flows directly out of the host cities and straight across the Atlantic into corporate bank accounts in Zurich. So what we're actually looking at here is the perfect financial trap. It's essentially a corporate heist. The governing body, FIFA, has engineered a flawless, bulletproof system for themselves. In the normal business world, right, massive revenue usually requires massive capital risk. But this operation is uniquely dark because the organizers have eliminated 100% of their financial risk. They've created this brilliant, ruthless business model where local mayors are left holding an entirely empty bag, assuming all the financial liability while being legally barred from touching the actual profits.
Section 1. The Money Machine. Following the flow of capital to Zurich.
To really understand how this operation works, we have to look closely at the legal mechanics forced upon the 16 host cities across the US, Canada, and Mexico. And the juxtaposition is just stunning. On one hand, the organizers take 100% of the ticket sales, 100% of corporate sponsorships, and 100% of broadcasting rights. Meanwhile, the host municipality, which literally means you, the local taxpayer, must pay for the multi-million-dollar stadium renovations, the deployment of elite security forces, and the immense strain on public transit. So basically, the public pays to build and protect the house, while the organizers extract every single drop of profit from it.
But the legal demands actually go even deeper into the dark. Think about this. While a local mom-and-pop restaurant down the street from the stadium is paying its fair share to support the community, this multi-billion-dollar Swiss monopoly sweeps into town and demands complete and total tax immunity. We're talking a 100% exemption from local taxes, 100% from state taxes, and 100% from federal taxes. They extract billions in liquid cash during the month-long tournament and leave without paying a single cent of tax revenue back to the cities that hosted them.
So you might be wondering, what is the absolute baseline cost of this arrangement for the public? $300 million. Public documents from cities like New Jersey and Toronto reveal that this staggering figure is what taxpayers are shelling out just for the required stadium upgrades and baseline operations. Let that sink in. That is $300 million of public funds actively diverted from your local infrastructure, your schools, and your hospitals, entirely to subsidize a private, tax-exempt entity's one-month event.
Section 2. The Empty Seat Scandal. Exposing the 99% illusion. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the cracks in this multi-billion-dollar machine are finally showing on live television. The whole attendance myth we are fed by broadcasters, it completely falls apart when you look at the physical reality inside the stadiums. While the official corporate metrics claim a staggering 99% capacity, the math is entirely based on tickets distributed, not actual turnstile entries. Thousands of prime, incredibly visible luxury tickets are handed out in massive blocks to global sponsors. And when those corporate executives inevitably just don't show up, you get these gaping blocks of empty premium seats, all while the official press releases proudly claim a sold-out stadium. This brings us to a really uncomfortable truth about squeezing the market. This system actively cannibalizes real, genuine fandom. The organizing body has made it mathematically clear they do not care if the stadium is half empty as long as the corporate invoice has been paid. The visual of empty seats just doesn't matter to them anymore, because true working-class supporters are no longer the target demographic. Sadly, they are simply viewed as an obstacle to maximizing liquidity. Let's break down exactly how lifelong, passionate soccer fans are being aggressively priced out of the game they love. It's a compounding financial extortion driven by a ticketing algorithm. Step 1, they introduce a dynamic pricing base. For the very first time, standard group stage tickets can skyrocket past $500 in real time based purely on algorithmic demand. Step 2, you're hit with mandatory platform fees just for the privilege of checking out. And step 3, the forced secondary market. If you are forced to buy a resale ticket, FIFA takes an additional 10% cut on every single scalp transaction. That's right, they are profiting on the initial sale and profiting again on the resale. It's wild.
When you calculate that predatory algorithm out to its logical conclusion, you arrive at this devastating number, $3,200. That is what a standard family of 4 must spend just to sit way up in the upper deck of a basic group stage match. To put that into perspective for a second, that equates to nearly a full month's net income for an average North American worker. True supporters, people who have followed their national teams for decades, are literally left standing outside the gates, systematically priced out by a machine designed to extract maximum wealth.
Section 3. The Host City Hangover. A predictable history of debt.
We've seen how the money is extracted during the event, right? But the true cost reveals itself when the final whistle blows and everybody goes home. Let's move to and see how this builds, because the pattern is entirely painfully predictable. In 2014, Brazil spent $300 million on the Mané Garrincha Stadium. Within months, it was literally being used as a municipal bus parking lot. You can't make this up. In 2022, Qatar spent upwards of $200 billion on vanity project arenas that had to be physically dismantled because there was no local league to even fill them. And now, in 2026, North America is walking blindly into the exact same impending municipal debt crisis. The hangover is swift, brutal, and completely identical every single time.
Here is the specific financial black hole hitting North American shores once this one-month circus packs up in July. Specialized World Cup grass fields, installed at massive public expense, will have to be immediately ripped right out to prepare for the NFL season. Stadium structures that were custom retrofitted for international broadcast standards, those have to be converted back. Cities will be left with massive public transit deficits from the immense operational strain of moving millions of people. And how exactly do cities pay for all this cleanup? Well, they do it with forced public service cuts or by raising your local property taxes.
But wait, what about the tourists? Doesn't that offset the cost? Well, every major economic study proves that the promised tourist boom is a statistical myth. While local politicians promise this massive influx of global spending, the dark reality is that regular, high-spending tourists actively avoid host cities during mega events just to escape the chaos and the inflated prices. So local hotels and restaurants often end up with lower profit margins than initially projected because their regular, reliable clientele stays far away. And the money spent inside the official corporate fan zones? That flows right back to the global sponsors, not into the pockets of the local community.
To summarize this whole investigation, the beautiful game has been completely hijacked by a corporate ledger sheet. What we are witnessing here is not a celebration of global sport, not anymore. It is a highly calculated, legally protected extraction of local wealth disguised as a soccer tournament. The governing body flies back to Switzerland with a $7 billion treasury, leaving the host cities completely high and dry, slowly drowning in the resulting debt.
Which brings us to a deeply uncomfortable question. If the world's most profitable sporting event requires literally bankrupting the local cities that host it, and predatory algorithms ensure that the average family is hit with thousands in unpayable hidden fees just to walk through the gates, who is the beautiful game really for? I want to hear from you on this. For those of you who tried to buy tickets, what outrageous hidden fees did you encounter? Let us know your experiences down in the comments. And as always, keep questioning the numbers.